So, you've got a story you're just dying to tell, right? A vision that you can see so clearly, and you just have to get it on screen. Well, today, we're going to lay out the entire roadmap for you. We're talking everything from that first little spark of an idea all the way to the final export. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you've been doing this for a while, we're going to help you turn that creative vision into something real. Let's get into it.
But before we dive into all the nitty-gritty details, let's get one thing straight about this whole process. Filmmaking is really just creative problem solving. Every single mistake you make is just a lesson in disguise. And honestly, that's what makes it so cool and rewarding. So please don't be afraid to mess up, because that is exactly how you're going to get good at this.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this journey down. We're going to start with the blueprint. That's all about the foundation, your story and your cast. Then we'll go on set and get into the practical stuff like gear and sound. After that, it's time for the polish, which is where the real magic of editing and music happens. And finally, we'll talk about how to take all this and actually build a career. Let's start with the blueprint. Because, look, the most important work on any film happens way before anyone ever shouts action. This is where you lay the groundwork for everything else. This is where you figure out what your film is really about.
So before you even think about what camera to use or who to cast, you have to ask yourself this one single question. Because making a film is going to take over your life for a while. And trust me, it's not always going to be easy. You have to be deeply emotionally invested in it. That personal connection, that's the fuel that's going to get you through the entire thing.
This quote from Pete Docter, the director of Inside Out, is the perfect example. He was 3 years into making the movie and it just wasn't working. Then he realized the story wasn't just about emotions. It was about how our emotions are the key to connecting with other people. Finding that deep personal truth, that was the turning point that made the movie a masterpiece. And that's the kind of connection you're looking for.
Okay, so your story is solid. Now it's time to find the people to bring it to life. Here are 3 super important tips. First, during the audition, give them a little direction. See how they react. It shows you if they're versatile and, actually directable. Second, pay attention to how they take that direction. Are they open to it? Collaborative? And third, mix and match. Pair different actors together. That's how you find that unexplainable magic thing we call on-screen chemistry.
Okay, you've got your story, you've got your cast, it is time to get on set. This section is all about the real nuts and bolts of production, from the gear you're going to use to the one thing you absolutely positively cannot mess up, sound.
We all dream of it, right? Finding that perfect, amazing location that just screams cinema. But finding it is only step one. The real work is making sure you can actually use it for a film shoot, which means asking some very practical and, let's be honest, not so glamorous questions.
Yeah, this is the not-so-glamorous side of filmmaking. That beautiful warehouse doesn't mean a thing if you don't have power, or if a train roars by every 5 minutes. Seriously, asking these boring but critical questions when you're scouting will save you from a complete disaster on shoot day.
Let's talk audio. In a perfect world, yeah, you'd have a dedicated sound person on every single project. But when you're on an indie budget, that's just not always going to happen. The good news is you can still get amazing, professional-sounding audio with affordable stuff, like a Zoom H6 recorder and a good mic or two.
I cannot say this loud enough. You can have the most gorgeous shots in the world, but if your audio is bad, the whole film is ruined. It's the one thing audiences will just not forgive. And here's a pro tip that will make your editor love you forever. At every single location, every setup, record at least 30 seconds of room tone, just the sound of the empty space. You'll thank me later.
And now we head into post-production. This is kind of the third act of making a film. It's where you take all those raw pieces from the shoot and you shape them into a real emotional story. This is where the magic truly happens. It's where you find your film.
Just like the slide says, the moment you yell that final cut, a whole new creative journey starts. Post-production isn't just some technical checklist. It's where you find the rhythm, the pacing, and the true heart of your story.
But before you make a single cut, please get organized. Create a clean, logical folder system for your video, your audio, your graphics, everything. This isn't just about making your life easier. It makes handing things off to a sound designer or a colorist a total breeze.
I mean, just look at the difference here. This is the power of color grading. It's not just about making things look pretty. It's about setting the entire mood and tone of your film and giving it that professional polish that makes it feel like a real movie. It can take a scene from just okay to absolutely unforgettable.
Music is the soul of your film, but let's be real, a custom score is crazy expensive.
That's where royalty-free music comes in. It is a total game changer for indie filmmakers. You can get access to massive libraries of incredible, high-quality music for just a one-time fee. It's the smartest, most budget-friendly way to make your film feel huge. Okay, so you did it. You finished your film. What's next? How do you turn this passion into an actual career? This last section is all about the stuff you need to know to build a real, long-term future in this industry.
Networking events, they can be so intimidating, right? Well, here's the secret. Almost everyone in that room feels just as awkward as you do. This one simple line is the best icebreaker in the world because it's so honest and it instantly creates a real human connection.
The most important thing to remember is this. You are not the only one feeling that way. As soon as you realize that everybody's a little bit uncomfortable, all the pressure just melts away. And it lets you stop worrying about what you're going to say and start actually listening to people.
So what's a networking strategy that actually works? First off, just show up. That's half the battle. Then make it about them, not you. Ask people about what they're working on. Be genuinely curious. Start building these relationships now with people you're in school with. And remember, what you post online is part of your professional reputation, so be smart about it.
And this really brings everything full circle. After all this talk about gear and technique and networking, never ever forget what really matters. It's not about having the fanciest camera. It is about the story, the sound, and how well you put it all together. That is what's going to grab your audience and not let go.
So we've given you the tools. We've given you the tips. Now there's really only one question left to ask. What story will you tell?